here I've got my lovely girl Sasha. Now she's a very jumpy little rat, she's very sweet. I didn't get her out for Jasmine to handle because she is always into everything, this little girl. And I found, well, but previously, this is the first year that Jasmine's 6 now, that I've let her actually handle the rats on her own. Previously, I've always held the rat, and usually we've used Blossom because Blossom's a very gentle little rat. Well, she was a gentle rat. She was an absolute sweetheart, and you know, she was brilliant for children. But now we have the male rats, it's very much easier because they don't move as quickly and they are very placid. So it was lovely to be able to let Jasmine handle the rats. Now, she's grown up knowing rats, so though she doesn't have rats at home, she's known my rats since she was tiny. And it's very important that if you have rats and young children, you do start teaching them from a very little age, as soon as possible, to start teaching them not to put their fingers in the cage and to be very gentle, so that when your child is a bit older, they've learned some important lessons of how to handle rats, and the care and the understanding and the sensitivity of rats, that, you know, it's a good responsibility for children to have pets, even when they're only partially caring for them themselves and you're taking on the major part of the care. And of course, as the child grows older, you can hand more care over to the child, but still supervise. And even with teenagers, you must check that the animals are healthy, that they're, you know, being cared for, because all the time you have a child or a teenager, until they become an adult, then you are responsible for the animals. And if anything happens to that animal, ultimately, although whether it's through ignorance or for whatever reason, ultimately the parent is responsible for the care of and safety of the animal, as well as the child, of course. You can try and escape now, aren't you? Something that really upsets me when people haven't done enough research on rats is they go and get rats for a child on a whim, and the child will get fed up of them. And most children are really brilliant and they can make fantastic carers for rats. Older children, you know, and teenagers, they really will understand the time and they have the patience. But there are some children who do get fed up of caring for the rats. The PlayStation's more exciting, or they have another hobby. And, you know, what upsets me is when people say to me, oh, but we can just release them into the wild, can't we? Well, no, in the UK, that is against the law. It's against the law to release any domesticated animal into the wild. A domesticated animal is not going to be able to fend for itself in the wild. It's been brought up in captivity as such, in a home, in a domestic situation. It doesn't know how to look after itself. It can't cope with the extremes of temperature. It won't know, you know, which animals that it's going to be at risk, that animals are going to come and chase it and eat it, and you will put an animal into the most terrible, distressing situation. They feel fear and pain and stress just like people do. And if there is a really good reason of why you need to rehome an animal, then please just be very, very careful how you rehome them. Go to a rescue centre, find a rat group, someone who fosters rats or adopts rats. Don't just hand them to a child's friend who, unless that friend is experienced with rats, because they could end up in a really bad situation. And you know, your responsibility of duty of care to the animal is to make sure that if for some reason you cannot keep them, that you rehome them responsibly and safely. So just a little thing that really bugs me because of the things that we have seen, you know, and heard about. So rats make brilliant pets. This little wriggly girl wants to go on the floor, but I'm not going to let her at the moment because she'll be straight in my sofa. So yeah, just find out as much as you can and love these little girls and boys because they are fantastic.